Chapter 3. What About Worm? The fire rode the wind, closing in on King Roland. Scared, his guards all jumped back. Suddenly, an invisible force knocked King Roland out of the fire's path. Drake looked at Worm. His dragon was glowing green. Drake knew that Worm had used his mind powers to save the king. The fire swept past the king and died out. 2 guards helped King Roland to his feet. "I'm fine," he said, brushing them away. Then he pointed at Vulcan. "No thanks to this dragon." "But it was the wind," Rory protested. "Silence," yelled King Roland. "I cannot have this dragon setting Queen Rose's castle on fire." He nodded towards Shu and Capri. "I'll take these 2. "What about Worm?" Drake piped up. "He just saved you." "Saved me? I think not. One of my guards pushed me out of the way," the king said. He looked at his guards. They all nodded. "It wasn't a guard," Drake insisted. He looked over at Anna and Bo. He could see they felt bad for him. Rory still looked mad about Vulcan. "Drake speaks the truth, Your Majesty," Griffith said. "Worm moved you with the power of his mind." "Impossible," the king said. "This plain brown dragon could not have such strange powers. Capri and Shu will be the only dragons going to the kingdom of Arkwood tomorrow." The king turned and stomped away. His guards marched behind them. Drake sighed, patting his dragon. "It's not fair," he said to Worm. "I know how great you are. Why won't the king believe us?" Chapter 4. A Wizard for a Babysitter. "Stop pushing me," Rory shouted. "I'm not pushing you," Drake said, moving away from her on the bench. It was the next morning. Griffith had asked Rory and Drake to sit quietly in the training room while the others got ready. "Stop bickering, you 2, he said. "Stay out of trouble until Diego gets here. I will not leave for the kingdom of Arkwood without another wizard here to watch over the castle." Then Griffith went to help Bo and Anna with their dragons. Sitting on the bench was boring. Drake kept squirming, and Rory kept complaining. "Why does Diego have to come watch us?" she asked. "We don't need a babysitter." "Well, maybe Griffith just wants to make sure that Vulcan doesn't set the castle on fire," Drake said. He knew it was kind of a mean thing to say, but Rory was really bugging him. Rory's green eyes flared. It was the wind. Maybe, but Vulcan was supposed to shoot his fire high up in the air. Drake reminded her, "And because you can't control your dragon, Worm didn't get to show off what he could do." Poof! The argument ended. Then a short, round wizard appeared in front of them. Rory and Drake. "Good. Please come with me," Diego said. They followed Diego to Griffith's workshop. Diego pushed some papers off a table. He pulled a glass ball the size of a large onion from his pocket. Next, he put a circle-shaped stand on the table and rested a ball on it. "Come, look into the gazing ball," he said, waving his hand over it. "Let's see what we can see." "What are we looking for?" Rory asked. "Some sign of Maldred," Diego replied. "And his 4-headed dragon?" Drake asked. "The one you saw in your dream the last time you were here?" "Well," Diego began. Rory interrupted him. "But we don't even know what Maldred looks like," she pointed out. Diego took a book from another pocket. He put it on the table and opened it to a page. "That's Maldred," he said. Diego pointed to a picture of a wizard with a pointy chin. He wore an eye patch over his left eye. He had a black mustache and a long black beard with a white stripe. "But I am not looking for Maldred's face in the gazing ball," Diego explained. "I am looking for a red mist, a sign of his dark magic." Drake couldn't look away from the picture. The dark wizard seemed to stare at Drake right from the page. He was glad when Diego closed the book. Rory and Drake crowded around to look in the gazing ball with Diego. There was no red mist, just a white fog. "Welcome, Diego," Griffith called, walking into the workshop. "Should I be worried about Maldred while I'm gone?" "We should always be worried about Maldred," Diego replied. "But there is no sign of his magic in the gazing ball, and if anything happens, I will keep your dragon master safe." "I know you will, friend," said Griffith. Then he turned to Drake and Rory. "Come," he said, "it's time to see us off." Griffith swept out of the room.